This is Mark Taylor-Canfield at Cal Anderson Park on the edge of the Capitol Hill occupied protest. And I can tell you that there are still a lot of people here. There are still a lot of tents where people are camped out. And, you know, even though there's a lot of negative media coverage of what's going on, and Jenny Durkin is, you know, getting all sorts of pressure from the President of the United States to stop all this, I can tell you that people are still in the zone, and people are they're very solemn today because of what happened last night, but they're still here and they're not going away. So that's what I have to report from Cal Anderson Park. This is Mark Taylor-Canfield for the MTC Report in Seattle.
We know who's not winning.
There's a teepee in the middle of the street, folks. There's the Arts Center on Capitol Hill, 12th Avenue Arts. And here are the barricades that the city originally created to keep people away from the East Precinct. But, you know, obviously it didn't work very well. So right now people have gathered right at the corner of the East Precinct. There's a band warming up there. Getting ready to play. There's been a lot of music going on down here too.
When I said I'm gonna live in the house, and this we both now agree, this one can have any doubt, and maybe one day you'll say this will mean only a house, only a house, only a house.
My band number. Everybody a part of the security team, and all of y'all for coming here to get your education. Thank you.
So the tent section here has definitely expanded since last time I was here. It's getting bigger and bigger, more and more people here. So more and more people have moved into the autonomous zone in Seattle. People are just taking up residence So far, you know, neither the mayor nor the police chief have resigned. And I think people feel like this is, you know, an ongoing protest and they're just not going to go away until something like that happens. We've got the line walkers, the tightrope walkers here. They like to try this through in the park. It's always exciting to watch them. Amazingly talented. Whoa. That's kind of cool. It's an old ambulance that somebody has converted into coffee truck, coffee tea truck. That's really cool.
Hands on top!
Good building here in the middle of the park.
Okay, wait! I need to tilt a little bit the other direction. Hands on top. Hands on top. Hands on top. I think back. Let's fine. Go for it. Drop it.
They're setting the frame for this building.
We're on a pole over here. Move that out of the way. Just kick it out of there. Thank you guys so much.
That was a group effort for sure. It took a lot of people to move that big frame. It's like a barn raising. It's dog heaven here. The dogs love it. But Seattle loves dogs. Seattle is totally a dog city. There's so many dogs in Seattle. For the stars, you know. That's how it goes. The people, we're just kind of a sidelight, you know. It's all about the dogs pretty much. They have a good life here. Want to donate? There's some things that people need right there for the art co-op. Paintbrushes, Sharpies, cardboard, wood, chalk, tape streams.
If you could try not to get people's faces back.
Lots of art going on here, folks. Memorial is still here. It seems to be getting bigger. So don't let them tell you that everything is closed down here, folks, because the Ranchero has been open throughout this whole thing, serving food to the protesters. And yes, they have experienced a little bit of graffiti, but they don't seem to mind, because they're behind the movement. So there you go. It's Henry's stuff. He's a great artist and stuff. His stuff is everywhere. Okay. That's what you need to know, folks. It's so sad. Another memorial. I mean, how many memorials does there have to be before this stops? It's crazy. So there is a memorial at 10th and Pine, but they asked that no pictures be taken there because it's a very solemn moment right now, which I totally respect. It's a very sad vibe there. But people are still out on the streets and they're still protesting, so it hasn't stopped these gatherings and these demonstrations in Seattle. And I would expect that you'll see more marches every night down to Interstate 5 to block it for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And probably more marches to the West Precinct, which is the other police station near here. But this is Mark Taylor-Canfield. I'm reporting from CHOP, the Capitol Hill Occupied protest. And the day after a young man was killed here and another was wounded. It's the giant fist.
Yeah, that's your skill.
So this is the sculpture that went up in the soccer field, the giant fist. So things are pretty calm in the protest zone today. A little bit somber because of the shooting last night. We still don't know the details of any of that. As far as I know, no one has been arrested. But I could be wrong. But yeah, this is Mark Taylor-Canfield at Cal Anderson Park, where people continue to camp out and protest against racism and police brutality. And this has been going on for over 2 weeks now in Seattle and all across the country and all across the planet in different ways. But folks have made some significant headway here in Seattle because of the fact that the city council has voted to demilitarize the police, unanimous vote, to ban the use of pepper spray, tear gas, flashbang grenades, concussion grenades, all of that kind of stuff. And also they put a prohibition on chokeholds. And people are enjoying some success. They still have some demands. You know, there's definitely been a demand that Mayor Jenny Durkan resign because of her failure to rein in the Seattle Police Department, who kept continually attacking peaceful protesters with those munitions. So a lot of issues that... Well, here's an interesting band over here. I wonder if they would mind me filming. I'm going to go listen to them for a second anyway. So here's the community garden. One of them. There's many here. People growing food, flowers. Cool stuff. So this is the place that Donald Trump is saying is full of domestic terrorists. People gardening. And even a greenhouse. We got the starters. And the greenhouse, another greenhouse. Community gardens, folks. Obviously, graffiti is a big part of this movement. That scared me for a minute, but it's fireworks. Pretty sure that's fireworks, yeah. So they're also able to get the police to stop covering their badge numbers with black tape as a memorial to fallen officers, which is something that's been a tradition for a long time. And so that was a success too, because people have been trying to get that done since the WTO demonstrations back in like 1999, 20 years ago. So 2 decades of intransigence on the part of the city government in banning those military-grade crowd control weapons, and in these practices of, you know, covering their badge numbers, which of course created issues of accountability, but no one was able to get past the Seattle Police Officers Guild when it came time to pass these reforms. So during contract negotiations, they always blocked these kinds of reforms. So now things have changed. In fact, the King County Labor Council, the Martin Luther King Jr. County Labor Council, has voted to kick out the Seattle Police Officers Guild from the King County Labor Union. And the guild, you know, never really operated so much like a union in terms of showing solidarity with other unions. They just acted like a guild, which is what they're called, or like a professional guild. So I'm on Broadway now, and things seem to be pretty calm here, and I don't miss that smell of pepper spray and tear gas in the air. I'm glad that that's gone, that the police have stopped using it on protesters. And apparently Mayor Jenny Durkin has kind of backed off, told the police to back off of the protesters, and they have maintained this autonomous zone on Capitol Hill in Seattle for quite a while now, which does harken back to the Occupy movement in some ways, the idea of occupying public space as a protest. But this is Mark Taylor-Canfield reporting on Capitol Hill in Seattle. So here we are, here's the autonomous zone, folks.
That's on what? That's on Capitol.
Check it out. So there's a lot of people, there's thousands of people here today. It's been like this for 6 days, I think now. About a week since the Seattle Police Department decided to evacuate from this precinct. It's been very peaceful, and thousands of people are gathering to protest against racism and police brutality. And those are the things Black Lives Matter are on the block, so it seems really well to me.